Hey folks, I'm Sarah and I'm on the 2025 jury for what I think is the best book prize for literary fiction from small presses. It's called the Republic of Consciousness Prize, United States and Canada, and it is dedicated to literary fiction from small presses in North America. Over the next few months, I will be sharing every single book nominated for the prize, and while I can't share my personal opinions on each book just yet, I will share enough details so that you can get to know the book and the publisher. Every book gets its very own video, and you are not going to want to miss a single one. Next up is book number 26, Show Me Where the Hurt Is by Hayden Casey, and this is published by Split Lip Press. This, as the title would suggest, is a short story collection completely all about people who are hurting. There are 13 stories here, and they range from realistic but a little bit strange to outright surreal. There's one story about a woman who has a job as an in-betweener, which means that she is hired by people who have recently gotten out of, or for whatever reason are no longer in their serious long-term relationship, and so they hire someone to serve as an in-betweener until they find their next long-term relationship. As you can imagine, consequences ensue. There's a story about a young man, or that is told by a friend of a young man, roommate of a young man who has just lost his mother and becomes obsessed with watching her. She was a yoga instructor, and he becomes obsessed with watching her yoga instructional videos. There's a story about a young couple who start sprouting each other's body parts. So like, I forget what the first body part is, but like a pinky, they lose their own pinky and sprout the other person's pinky, which is wild. And there's another story about a that feels like it's intended to be speculative, but is maybe like not at all speculative. That's about a weight loss pill and certain consequences that come about after taking this weight loss pill. There's a lot of family members leaving one another behind, betrayals, old wounds, new wounds. All of these stories are about wounded people and the various methods and means they use to fill those wounds in. And Hayden Casey is a writer and musician who lives and teaches in Phoenix, Arizona. He holds an MFA in fiction from Arizona State University. And Split Lip Press was founded in 2014, and they say they are dedicated to publishing boundary-breaking fiction, nonfiction, and hybrid books, lifting the transition boards that prevent fluidity and smashing those we cannot pry up. We love work that questions the concept of truth and work that reinterprets what we think we know. We prize experimentation. We welcome the unanswerable. We want to see the dark and the light side of the moon, or we want to see it obliterated. If your book is a wedge in a crack, Split Lip Press is the hammer helping you to split the wall apart. I have a fair number of books from Split Lip Press, and my favorite book from them is a novella called Sister Golden Calf by Colleen Berner. I have another video that I can post below about that beautiful, beautiful book. I have noticed more and more books that are accompanied by playlists, and I want to know if you have noticed this as well. Either their playlists, if you go visit the book on the publisher's website, there's a playlist the author has put together that's linked there, or even lists of songs printed in the back of books. There were at least 2 books on the long list for the Republic of Consciousness Prize last year that had actual lists of songs in the back of the book. And usually it's like a playlist with various artists that maybe it was music that inspired the author while they were writing, or music that kind of fits the vibe of the book, or even music that has been mentioned in the book itself, and the author has compiled a playlist of all that music for the reader. Hayden Casey has gone one step further, or it feels like 100 steps further, and has written an original song to accompany a song to accompany every story in this book. And there is a playlist on YouTube. I will link to it below. And I was really struck how the songs fit the vibe of this collection so well. They're a little on the softer side, and I think they evoke the same kind of tender vulnerability that the stories do, but there's like nothing overly dramatic, no huge big crescendo, no heavy beat. There's a very bittersweet feeling about like that you feel listening to the songs. I feel like matches the vibe of the book as well, like a pleasant sound, but also somehow bruised or wounded. Like I used the word wounded so many times describing these stories. And I just think the whole package just fits together so nicely. The stories and the music, even the cover gives that kind of a vibe too. And I think if you go and listen to those songs online, you'll get a great idea of the texture of these stories. So I want to know, what do you think about this trend of creating playlists to go along with works of fiction, whether it is original music written by the author or some sort of compilation? Have you encountered can you give examples of this below? Have you listened to the playlist? What have you thought? I would love to hear it, and here is my example for you. And that's just one of many incredible books nominated by one of many incredible publishers. The long list of 10 books is usually announced in mid-January-ish, but I guarantee you there are going to be more than 10 amazing books from these nominees. So if you love offbeat, under-the-radar literary fiction, you are going to want to follow along. Click above or below for the next nominated book. If I've filmed it, it'll be available there. If not, stay tuned for just a little while longer. And in the meantime, you can click the playlist below that will contain all of the nominated books that I've shared so far. Again, my name is Sarah. Thank you so much for joining me here. I'll talk to you next time. Bye.